Morning and greetings from Northumberland. It's a dry morning after a really rainy day yesterday. And I was drawn to look this morning at the reading from the prophet Amos that comes today. Amos has been read all the way through the week. And Amos is an interesting prophet. I first read anything about Amos when I was about 15 years old, doing my exams. Amos lived from about the year 760 to the year 755. He was active in those 5 years during the reigns of, I've got to check this up, I can never remember, during the reigns of Jeroboam, the king of Israel, and Uzziah, the king of Judah. It was a divided kingdom at that time. And in those 5 years he preached and prophesied. They were a time of prosperity, but a time also of injustice, a time of slackness, you might say, a time when people were turning their eyes and their backs away from God and from justice and everything, and reveling in their wealth. And Amos speaks out to the northern kingdom, to the kingdom of Israel, about this and the folly of turning their back on God. He also makes the point it's not just enough to offer the sacrifices and do the religious ritual. You have to have, if you like, a moral contract with God. That following God is about the way in which we treat others, about the way in which we seek to follow God and make God the centre of our lives, and also the way in which justice, mercy, and all these things overflow into our lives. And Amos says that if we don't do this, then we will get into a mess. And he talks about the injustice and the problems of the society in which he lives. But at the end of the of the book, in chapter 9, he then at the end, the bit that we would read this morning, talks about a restoration. A restoration. That if people turn to God, their lives may be restored. And I think it's a message for all of us and for all societies. We need to follow the ways that lead to justice and peace and care and mercy. We need to follow the ways where our actions reflect our faith and our faith guides our actions. And when things go wrong, we need to recognize that, if you like, a lack of moral compass or a lack of focus on justice, mercy, and the love of God leads us astray. Another passage that puts this very, very precisely is from the prophet Micah. Micah was another of the minor prophets like Amos and Hosea. He came from Judah, and he prophesied at the time of Hezekiah and Ahaz. But he also spoke words which, like Amos's, reflected the justice of God. He prophesied in chapter 5, verse 2, that Bethlehem would be the place, the birthplace of Jesus. But these words, which I read at least every week, and maybe we could do well to read every day, come from chapter 6, verse 8. What does the Lord require of you but to do justice, to love kindness, and to walk humbly before your God? Or as the older version puts it, he has showed thee, O man, what is good, and what doth the Lord require of thee? but to do justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with thy God. He calls us to admit that we fail these things and to turn our hearts and our minds to their fulfillment. So today, as we remember Amos, one of the minor prophets, and are called also to reflect on Micah's words, we pray for our nation. We pray for the nations of the world. And we pray that these words, I'll say them again from the prophet Micah, may be guiding lights for us. What does the Lord require of you? But to do justice, to love kindness, and to walk humbly with your God. May God bless us. May God bless the people of Ukraine. May God bless the people of the world. And may God turn our hearts to the ways of love, justice, mercy, and humility.